one team comfortably placed, another team desperate to pick up 2 points after a heartbreaking loss against Chennai a couple of days ago. Kolkata are the team that need those points. Delhi are sitting pretty. They can even afford a loss or two, but they just seem to be on a roll. It'll be interesting to see the dynamics as they come out. But more importantly, Joy, let's start with the possible combinations for Kolkata. Kuldeep gone. Ray Russ did not look good when he limped off the field the other day. I'm not sure if they want to risk him immediately after that, given the fact that they've got more matches to go. Hamstring is always a concern.
Yeah, hamstring is hamstring can be it just depends what is the grade of what's happened to him, and nobody other than the physios will tell us. But my point is that he's so important to them that even if he can just bat, they'll try and keep him in the field. They'll try and do something around him and keep him there, because he's just so important to their plans right now. Because if he goes out, they might have players. They might have Tim Seifert can really tonk the ball. Shakib Al Hasan is a natural all-rounder who comes in there, but none of them can hit the ball or has the impact with the bat that he has. So they'll be really, really sweating this, and I can't see them even taking a decision. They'll probably, whatever the physio tells them, Brendan will be saying, tell me 3 hours before the match. That's when I really want to know. I don't want to know before that. Work on him all night. I don't care if you guys don't think he's me. I just want to know 3 hours before the match if he can get out. He's just too vital to them. It's too big a match. And remember one more thing. The kind of bowling Delhi has the kind of bowling that it's not going to be very easy. Maybe a Shubman Gill possibly has that class, but for a Rahul Tripathi or a Venkatesh Iyer, they have not used to playing 150 plus bowlers that often. It's not going to be that easy. This is not the kind of game that they're going to be used to. So it's so much will depend on class international batsmen. Andre Russell. These are the Dinesh Karthik. These are the kind of guys, maybe Shubman Gill, who can give it to for them. But this is a very different attack from whatever Kolkata has feasted on. Their batsmen have feasted on the last 2-3 matches.
That looks like the matchup it's going to be. But before we come to the Delhi squad, Lisa, assuming the worst for Kolkata and Andre Russell is not available, could it just be a blessing in disguise with Sharjah not playing the Sharjah of 2020, and that someone like Shakib Al Hasan comes in and gives you those 4 overs?
Yeah, that's potentially an option, and we've seen Sharjah a bit lower and slower, don't we? I actually thought it would play like it did at the start of 2020, but it'd be 200 plus, and I was very surprised to see that the 150, I think it was, around that scoreline was okay. The other person that you could potentially bring in is a Ben Cutting. So he's very similar to an Andre Russell. I mean, not the same size muscles or the ability to hit, but he can bowl that back of a length. He's played that role for Sydney Thunder and did it really well during the Big Bash. So that might be another option that Baz McCullum and the team may think about. But yeah, it's for Kolkata, the injuries don't help them. Andre Russell's a key, whereas Delhi seem to be just cruising. Just another tournament, just everyone's getting together and everyone's performing well. So yeah, it's going to be hard work for Kolkata, I think.
Yeah, probably need that all-round option, Cutting or Shakib Al Hasan, which means Tim Seifert will be lower down the pecking order, though Kolkata will know that he's come with a reasonable amount of form from the CPL. So lots of choices for them. All is not lost with Andre Russell if he decides to rest for one game. What about Delhi? Joy mentioned the bowling attack. The juggernaut rolls on from the north of the country. The 2 South Africans have been in seriously good nick. Anrich Nokia cranking it up to about 150 plus, and Rabada being his usual efficient self, picking up wickets in the power play, picking up wickets at the death. So they don't really have any selection issues. They just want to bring the best 11 on the park and continue to rack up the points.
They do. I think the only thing that they'll think about is who's going to be their 5th bowler, because they have 4 of their bowlers are absolutely settled. No, actually, you have 5 absolutely settled, which is Avesh Khan, Rabada, Nokia, and then of course you have Ashwin and Akshar Patel. They have Lalit Yadav as well. See, Delhi also has an excellent spin attack, and it'll be interesting because if Shakib plays, you have 2 really, really good spin attacks playing against each other.
But interesting, Joy, they didn't use Lalit Yadav last time. He was sort of a replacement for Stoinis, but he pretty much didn't take part in the game at all.
Yeah, but again, Delhi has the luxury of doing stuff like that. Delhi is doing what Dhoni used to do in his pomp and is starting to do again today. That, he'll throw the ball to somebody and then for, 2 matches, Jadeja doesn't get the ball. Suddenly Jadeja is told, okay, you need to bowl 3 overs today, or Harbhajan needs to bowl. And that's what I think Delhi has the luxury of. Very few other teams have the luxury of. I think Chennai again this season. As far as Kolkata is concerned, I would really again try and do something out of the box, because this, who's the better team? There's no doubt, even with whatever Kolkata has done, and I think they've done fantastically after returning, even though they lost their last one, is overmatched. Delhi is a much stronger team on paper, let's face it. So Kolkata needs to do something to change that chemistry to something different to sort of shake them up and make them think a bit. And I think Brendan is a perfect coach for this situation. I mean, if you want a coach who's going to say, okay, let me do something and really shake this up, Brendan is a perfect guy. So I'm really hoping he does something from left field, maybe play Harbhajan and get him to bowl a bit, or do something that changes. He has to change the setup. If the setup goes normal and both teams play absolutely straight, I think Delhi has an advantage.
Well, the good thing we see, if all of you follow social media, Delhi, of course, were one of the pioneers in their team meetings being put out there. But we've seen Kolkata do that as well. And Brendan's got some interesting little exercises for the teams. There was one where they had Sunil Narayan playing pool, and he did a whole analogy about how a game of pool can be like a game of cricket, never over till it's over. So they know that even if they're pushed to the wall, the 8 ball is never far away. But the one thing we haven't mentioned, Lisa, in all this, Delhi's bowlers, Kolkata's batsmen, the spinners, but Delhi's top order have really been firing to the extent, like a good umpire, you don't really notice them. Dhawan, Iyer and Prithvi Shaw.
Yeah, and the fact that Shreyas Iyer obviously was injured the first leg, hasn't played a lot of cricket, comes back, scores 240 odd, player of the match in the last game. He's picked up where he's left off. And then, we haven't really touched the middle order, to be honest, because the top have just been hogging the strike. Shikhar Dhawan is just such a class. He just knows what he needs to do. He's picked up his strike rate a few seasons ago. He's staying consistent. Then he's got all these youngsters going around him. It's actually the perfect combination. And it's taken Delhi a few years to get the combinations right and the belief that the players have.